Now I come to the question of the importance of newspapers. To my mind, there is no substitute to reading newspapers. The kind of snippets you get on your electronic media are at best information. But newspaper items are just not information. They will always contain some background, some details, some linked ideas. For example, if you take the example of this year's Nobel Prize for Abhijit Banerjee, your normal online snippet will only say that he won the Nobel Prize along with Kramer and Esther Duflo. But a newspaper is more likely to say why he won it, what are randomized controlled trials for which he won the Nobel Prize, and some newspapers and magazines might even make a mention of who are the other Indians or persons of Indian origin who have won the Nobel Prize. And that is of interest to you, you should know because as I said, UPSC has the habit of asking linked questions linked to the current affair, current development, but from the past. So a question saying, who are the other Indians who have won the Nobel Prize and giving you options of that would not be unimaginable. So reading the newspaper gives you a wider idea of the item as such. Secondly, newspapers are more reliable. Again, electronic medium known for its false news or its incomplete news is notorious for not being reliable. Even today, newspapers by and large and even magazines will not have factual inaccuracies. Very rarely do they have factual inaccuracies. And of course, they will never ever give out false news. So, reliability of newspapers is also quite high, and that is why reading newspapers is important. Now, it's your choice. You can read the newspapers in print, or you can read them as e-papers. That's your choice. But newspapers you must read. I don't think there is any getting away from reading newspapers. Take for example the explained page of Indian Express, which comes about 4 times, 5 times a week. Now that page has information which has been collected and collated by somebody carefully, and it has been organized into a very well thought out format of what are the issues that need to be understood to explain an item. So there is no substitute. I have not seen anything in the electronic medium which comes close to what the explained page in Indian Express is. We now come to the question of how to handle centrally sponsored schemes. I admit it's a challenge because the government of India runs hundreds of such schemes. Now, what you need to do is to identify the major schemes, also known as flagship schemes of the government. So, these major schemes you must know quite a bit about. So, what I have done in this book, Contemporary Issues, I have taken some of these very important of flagship schemes. For example, I have taken all the three schemes of infrastructure, the BharatNet, the Sagarmala, and the BharatNet projects. I have also taken the major social sector schemes like PM Kisan, the PM Ujjwala Yojana, and the PM Ayushman scheme, Ayushman Bharat scheme. So this book has what I thought were the flagship schemes or the most important central schemes that are currently running. My other book, India 2020, has a longer list of schemes ministry-wise. Now, these I do admit are quite a few in number. They are organized according to the ministry. What is their importance? How do you identify the more important of them? Depends on what is happening around you. I will once again say for the fourth time that a question is likely to be asked of you of some because it is linked to some current development or some current or contemporary event. So, for example, this is Gandhiji's 150th birth year. He was born, as you all know, on October 2, 1869. Gandhiji was a politician who really focused on Swachhta, on cleanliness, on good toilets. Therefore, to my mind, the Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin becomes important this year because it coincides with Gandhiji's 150th birthday. Now, how much you should know about the centrally sponsored scheme? So you should certainly know the rationale for it. For example, the Swachh Bharat mission is driven by the fact of public hygiene and the ill health which is caused by the lack of public hygiene. It is also driven by the fact, by the need for women to have privacy and not to go into the fields. So certainly you need to know the rationale of it. You also need to know the major objectives of the scheme. Do you need to know the exact numbers or the exact expenditure? Certainly not. You're not expected to know to the last rupee or the last toilet built. But again, a broad magnitude of idea should be known to you. For example, in the Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin, the fact that over 10 crore toilets have been built. The exact number is 10 crore 26 lakh something. The fact that over 93% of the toilets built are geo-linked and their photographs have been uplinked. The fact that over 700 districts are now open defecation free. The fact that over 250,000 Gram Panchayats or Gram Sabhas are now open defecation free. So nobody expects you to know that it is 706 districts. If you know that there are about 700, it's a broad magnitude of the figure you should know. Nobody expects you to know how many exact Gram Panchayats are ODF. The fact that you know that over 250,000 are is sufficient. So that is what you need to know about the CSS. So that is all for today. I'll close with these answers and say bye-bye. You have the opportunity now. We are all in a lockdown for 21 days to work hard. But while you work hard, please remember it's very important to keep a work, life and exercise balance. Only a healthy body, a relaxed body can support a good, functional and ticking mind. So keep that balance also. Do your exercises, do your relaxation, whatever gives you relaxation, reading a book, seeing something on Netflix, do that also. But when you're working, work sincerely and work hard. I have a series of questions from you now. They're in hundreds. And over the next few days, I'll try to organize them into groups of questions based on similarity. And then, as and when we have the webinar, I'll try to answer them. In the meanwhile, best of luck and bye-bye. Hello again, friends. Good afternoon. As promised yesterday, I'm here to answer the 2 or 3 questions that had remained. The first of these is whether you should take notes when reading newspapers. Well, there is no yes or no answer to this. If that is your style, if taking down notes helps you remember, then certainly you can take notes. But please do ask yourself, will you have time to come back to those notes? Will you have time to read them again? Also, taking notes cannot be a mechanical exercise. It cannot be an excuse for postponing the understanding of the issue or absorbing the issue. So please take notes only after you have understood and absorbed the issue, and you can write down the note almost without reference to the source, the newspaper. Once you have understood and absorbed, then when you do revisit your notes, they will make sense to you. Otherwise, if you have taken notes mechanically, you'll be shocked later when you go to those notes, you will find you yourself cannot make any sense of them. Secondly, notes do not dilute the requirement for you to read in and around the subject to know a bit of the background. So, to take yesterday's example of Chandrayaan 2, if there is a question, if you're reading an item such as Chandrayaan 2, then naturally your curiosity should be to find out a little more about the Indian space program. Questions such as what was India's first satellite, what was India's first indigenously developed launch vehicle, which is the SLV-3, as I said yesterday. Uh, where is the launch center? Why is it at Sriharikota? Where is Sriharikota? So these are the signs of a person, of a young adult who wants to be generally aware, and that's what UPSC is looking for. I now come to the question of how to read newspapers. Well, this is actually a skill which you can teach yourself. Very carefully read the last 5 or 7 years of question papers, prelim papers, and GS papers for the last 5 or 6 years of UPSC. Then, when you start reading the newspaper, ask yourself on each item that you read, is this a question that UPSC normally asks? You would get some idea, some hint, whether this is a likely question or not. As you go along, as you read the newspaper, the skill will improve. You will find that you are able to identify issues which UPSC might be interested in quite easily. As a matter of fact, a stage should come when you read a newspaper or a magazine, there will be items literally jumping at you, shouting that I could be a question. So it is a skill that you will teach yourself. Everything in the newspapers is not question worthy as such. So that is what you have to be careful about and read the paper carefully where you think an item is worth a question. Now, the importance of newspapers. I think there is no substitute to reading newspapers. The kind of snippets you get on your electronic media are just information. They are not newsworthy. So, for example, if you were to read about, say, the Nobel Prize this year, and Abhijit Banerjee's Nobel Prize in Economics. Now, it is relevant this year